What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 95 of the Silver and Gold podcast. I'm Josh. Mike, you're muted.
And I have no mic.
Yeah. You know what? It's a Christmas miracle almost, Mike, because literally the live chat is fixed. Just
Yeah, I
as
really
soon
started
as
like
we hit live, if you guys can see up in the top right corner, I just have a bunch of testing comments. You know what? This isn't COVID anymore. Tests are not important. Okay? It's all about doing. It's all about action. Speaking of action, the 49ers did not have a game this weekend, but the Raiders did. So that's where we're going to start today. The Raiders lost to the Broncos. Everybody just, I'm so sorry, Raiders fans. I know that this is another heartbreaking loss. For those of you that don't care about draft capital, honestly, I mean, it's good for the Raiders that they lost. They're taking their medicine. But, Mike, I want you to tell me about it.
yeah, I got to watch most of this game. Um, Hold on, sorry. So I mean, just for a personal thing, if anybody, oh, this is gonna be weird. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Say that again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went on our trip to Disneyland this past week, and we got back Friday, and second to last night, but the last day, I started feeling sick. Long story short, I got an ear infection. I don't know how. Whatever. I cannot hear out of this ear. So like right now, I hear myself. Whereas usually if you have both your AirPods in, like your voice sounds muted and you hear mostly just what you're hearing, right?
Uh, hey,
I,
what if I accidentally hit a setting on Discord where I'm like sharing audio with you, so you're actually hearing yourself, and I'm just like secretly messing with you?
no, it sounds like it's coming from like within. It's like when you plug your ears and then you start
Yeah.
talking. It just sounds like that.
No,
Hold on a second.
I know what you. I know.
I want to hear it just from this ear. Just to go ahead.
All right. So I'm talking, and Mike is deaf.
Yeah, I'm at like 5% here. Like my this ear is at 5% audio.
We
It's insane.
we went to Disneyland. Mike got deaf. Woo!
Yeah, it's so weird. I mean, okay, it is better with the AirPod in because my voice isn't quite as loud. All right, sorry. So yeah, I did get to watch this game though. Raiders versus Broncos. Um, I want to say in the first half they kept it pretty close. I want to say it was like 7-7. Maybe at halftime, if not just before halftime. Let me confirm that.
I can
Um,
confirm. It was 7-7 in the first quarter, 14-7 at half, and then
okay.
21-7 going into the fourth. And then the Raiders just made a push late in the game with quarterback
Yeah,
Kenny Pickett.
indeed. Um, yeah, I mean, at first it felt like a game like, oh boy, is this gonna be one of those ones where they're gonna be in it till the very end and they're gonna like really annoy me because they need to lose this game and then they try really hard to win this game. Like, is Brock Bowers gonna have a legendary game or whatnot? And that wasn't the story of the game. Kenny Pickett is an interesting story to come out of this game because okay, the first drive, which I believe was the touchdown drive, like to start the game, uh, Geno Smith looked excellent. Like he was 6 for 6 for however many yards. You know, he looked efficient. Obviously, Greg Olson is the coordinator now for the offense. I want to say this is week 2, but obviously not so much of a short week this week, right? With calling the plays and getting the game plan ready for
Did
the
you say did you say Greg Roman?
Greg Olson.
Oh,
I don't know if maybe I said Roman, but I think I said Olson. Um, but the offense looked better to start this game, and against the Broncos defense, no less, right? Which worried me a bit. I'm like, they're gonna start, they're gonna win a game or two down the end of this, right? They're just gonna do it, aren't they? We'll see. Um, Brock Bowers looked good. The story of this game, well, I'll get to that. I guess the second story to this game was that Geno started hot and then progressively got worse. And then he injured like his hand or his shoulder or maybe both. He like got a scratch on his hand, and I think he also hurt his shoulder after he came back in or something like that. Kenny Pickett legitimately looked better than Geno Smith. That's story number 2 of this game. Story number 1 of this game. Sorry, I just got a text. Is the rookies. Okay? It's the
Jack
fact that
Besh.
the 3 rookies that I have been, I mean, not like exclusively clamoring for, but internally. Like, I haven't been on here week after week for all 3 of these guys. But yes, Jack Besh is the guy that all season I've been like, why is he not on the field? That's your second round pick. Get him on the field. He's a wide receiver. Like, I can understand, although it feels like bullshit, I can understand the narrative that, oh, Caleb Rogers isn't ready. He's had bad practices. He shouldn't be out there on an NFL offensive line protecting our quarterback and, uh, run blocking for our, you know, sensational, hopefully soon to be star running back Ashton Gianti. We can't have a rookie out there, blowing assignments, right? So when a couple weeks ago, when Caleb Rogers was rumored to be getting snaps with the starters after Jackson Powers Johnson went down, and then I want to say it was Ted Nguyen, but somebody came out and said, according to a source with the Raiders, the reason why Caleb Rogers didn't play like 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever, was because he had a bad practice or had bad practices that week. So he went from possibly starting to healthy scratch that week. Like, that's, to me, that's baffling. For a team that has 2 wins, I'm sure that week they had 2 wins. Like, aren't we on like a 7-game losing streak or something? Your season's over. Why are we making the rookies healthy scratches, right? Dante Thornton, if I'm not mistaken, has a concussion. So Caleb Rogers finally, if I'm not mistaken, gets the start this week. I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't start, but I'm pretty sure he got the start and they had Alex Kappa at center. Like, that's how downtrodden they are on the offensive line, is that they have Alex Kappa at center. But fact check me on that. I could be wrong. Caleb Rogers finally gets the start at right guard. Do you want to guess, on 39 pass snaps, how many pressures he gave up in this game?
5,
Subtract 5.
4,
Subtract 4.
3.
Yeah,
He gave up 0. He gave up 0.
He gave up 0. I mean, that's better than you're hoping for from a rookie's first start. After hearing all this negativity of, oh, he was so bad at practice, we couldn't possibly put him on the field healthy scratch. I don't get it. I don't get it. Maybe that was a Chip Kelly thing. I don't know. But it's good to see that the rookies are finally getting out there. Some of them, maybe because of injury, specifically Darian Porter. That's the other rookie that I've really been clamoring to see. I think he has the potential to be a starter on this defense. And he finally got on the field consistently because Kai Blue Kelly had a ruptured patella tendon or kneecap or whatever. I forget what it was, but I want to say it actually, he might not actually have ligament damage, but some sort of season-ending injury to his leg or knee.
Can I ask you a quick question about just kind of the big context of this game, which I think is going to be moving forward, a big discussion. All right. I want you to agree or disagree, but I think that Geno Smith is still better than Kenny Pickett.
I, I mean, the other times that I've seen Kenny Pickett on the field, which have not been that many, the signs point to no. But seeing the end of this game, I don't know what to think because part of me is like, I don't want to win, so keep Gino on the field. But also, they traded like a fifth round pick for Kenny Pickett, and I'd have to assume this is a 1 year, like this is his contract year type of thing. Um, so I'd like to see what we have, even though we probably will have a completely different coaching staff at the bare minimum on offense. But I think they should have an entirely new coaching staff, or at least 90%. Um, so maybe the new coaching staff doesn't want Kenny Pickett regardless, but you have a quarterback in the building. We know what Aiden O'Connell is at this point, I think, and that's a backup. Uh, do I think Kenny Pickett is magically going to go on a Mac Jones run, win us 3 games, and say, I'm the starter, pay me like Jimmy Garoppolo back in 2019
No.
or whatever year? Fuck no, that's not happening. But could he be a guy that goes out there and you go, you know what? We should keep him on the roster. We should re-sign him to a, not so lucrative deal, and that gives us a better. That gives us more flexibility to cut Geno Smith or whatever they decide to do this offseason. I don't know if they will cut Geno. That obviously is yet to be seen just because of his contract, but decisions have to be made at quarterback this offseason. That's the obvious.
Honestly, Kenny Pickett, it's a trap, dude. Honestly, like he played better than Gino, and he actually played. He played well in this game, at least according to the stat sheet. I didn't get to watch a lot of this game, but he was eight of 11 with 97 yards, a touchdown, and I mean he got sacked once. He had a 129.7 passer rating, and he had a rush for 6 yards. So, I mean, I personally, from watching Kenny Pickett on the Steelers, all right, I'm very biased when it comes to Kenny Pickett because I never liked him after he was the quarterback that did the fake slide in college. I didn't
Right.
like him then, and then he got drafted to the Steelers, and he was horrible. And then
Right.
there was all this hype around year 2 that he was going to be so, like, oh, that offense was going to be so good, and Kenny Pickett might have actually improved, and then he sucked, right? Uh, I just don't think that he's that good.
Yeah, and I really don't either. Uh, like I think he's more in line with his first snap as a Raider, which was a fumble, than he is this past, Sunday. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to see Gino get a hot streak at any point. Not that I expect it, but just I don't want Gino to suddenly, oh, I figured it out. I just don't have to throw to the other team and then start winning games. Like I'd rather this week Gino's out for a week and we
Yeah.
just get Kenny Pickett and it's just a complete shit show. Like I'd much rather see that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I mean the third story, which is more not so direct, but it's slowly but surely becoming more and more directly a Raiders story, is the draft pick. How it's going to shake out at the end of the season relative to the Giants and the Jets, the Titans, and the Saints, right? Like those are probably the 5 teams, including the Raiders, that are in play for the first pick. Um, and it's feeling more and more like today, or not today, this weekend was the first week where the odds really went in the Raiders' favor of they might get the first overall pick. And I thought I saw a tweet that said if the Raiders just lost to the Broncos because the Jets, or no, the Titans and the Saints won. Because of those games, I had heard that the Raiders would get the first pick, but it turns out the Giants currently have the first pick and the Raiders are second. But I'd say the key with and I didn't mention the Browns, but they're in play too. Um, the key with like the Giants and the Titans being the two other teams that have 2 wins. Yeah, because the Titans only had one, now they have two. Sorry. So it's the Giants, Raiders, Titans. Those other two teams have quarterbacks that they just drafted last year, and one of them was the first overall pick. You're not giving up on that. The other being Jackson Dart, who looks really good. Does he look like a world-beating, franchise savior? I don't know about that, but he looks like a guy that you can invest in the
Yeah.
sense that, you don't have to pay him right now, but you can surround him with talent and see how it goes.
Jackson
I feel
Dart?
like the Giants, yes, I feel like the
Dude,
Giants should feel pretty good about that.
I am concerned like hell with Jackson Dart because he did show a lot of promise this year. But, Mike, do you know how many times that he's been in concussion protocol this year?
Yeah, that's his main concern, I would say, is that he does not take care of his body on the field.
Do you know how many
Um,
times?
no, I know it's probably
Five.
north of 3. Yeah,
Five.
yeah. I mean, they have to work on that. That's for sure. Whoever they get as their coach or offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, they need to work on that. But I think at the end of the day, if they feel confident in him, uh, the point there is simply the Raiders have less competition for a quarterback at the top of the draft, with the two teams that are currently most likely to be in range with them. So long as the Raiders lose out, which one of those matchups is against the Giants, which would be
Mm.
very interesting.
I'm going to put my beanie back
Um,
on because 49er Media is tuning in and he says, "Good evening, Josh and Mike." Good
good
evening.
evening.
It's good night. It's good night
Yeah.
already. No. Welcome
Um,
welcome back in. We started the show backwards today. We're going with Raiders first, so we will talk about the 49ers a little bit and give our predictions for the upcoming game. Obviously, there was no game. Go on, Mike. Sorry.
yeah, you're good. So yeah, I mean, I'm a little all over the place because I did want to talk about the draft a little bit. Um, but mostly I wanted to talk about the rookies. So I talked about Caleb Rogers. He had a really good game. I think what helped him a lot was that clearly Greg Olson made an emphasis on getting the ball out quickly, which I think is something that Geno Smith needed to do more, right? Because I think when he's sitting back there and he's trying to make something happen, or mostly the offensive line is so bad that if he doesn't get the ball out within a second and a half, he's going to get sacked. Um, or when he's forced into a pivotal decision making moment within half a second, he's going to throw a pick.
Damn, dude.
Um,
It took me until all right. I was like really weirded out. Like for just hearing Greg Olson's name earlier, I was like, why is Mike talking about the play-by-play announcer? And then I realized Greg Olson is the name of the Raiders interim offensive coordinator. And so when you said Greg Roman, I was like, is Mike talking about Chip Kelly? Like I'm just like all over the place.
I'm all over the place because you just said Greg Roman.
No, I thought you said Greg Roman earlier. Remember I
No,
asked you, I said, did you say Greg
yeah,
Roman? Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that there was another Greg Olson other than, G Reg up in the studio. You remember that rap song that he made?
Yes, I do. Um, yeah, there are multiple Greg Olsons. I mean, this is the Greg Olson that has been with the Raiders now 3 separate occasions. Uh, so clearly he likes the Raiders. Um, so yeah, Caleb Rogers, good game. I want to see more of him. I mean, based off of this game, he looks like a guy that can absolutely play and seems to look like a future starter in the NFL, which is promising because that's what they need. That is what they desperately need is an offensive lineman or two or three or maybe four that can start, right? That can start and play well. So if
Mm.
Caleb Rogers can be our left or right guard, I guess right guard of the future, that's a big plus for this draft class. There are other guys that are yet to be seen, like of course I'm going to forget his name, the left tackle that they took, who was really raw. Let me see. Hold on.
While you look that up, I just want to say hello to Will, who's tuning back in. He says, "Yo, what's good, fellas?" Will. Hey, 49er Media and Will, did you guys catch our live last week from Disneyland? Well, you probably didn't catch it live because I don't know what it was. I think I had bad connection, so I don't think it went public until after. And then, like, who watches like a 5 minute live after it went live? But it was pretty funny because, I mean, we literally did it from a ride. We went live from a ride talking about the Niners and the Raiders.
Yeah, it was quite an interesting time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it did buffer out quite a bit for like the first half. But Charles Grant, I was thinking Charles. I'm like, Charles, what's his last name? Charles Grant, the third round pick to go with Caleb Rogers and Darian Porter in this year's draft. Um, at some point, we will see him. I'm not sure when that will be. I know he's the backup left tackle, I guess, behind Stone Forsythe, who I hope is gone after this season. Um, and I hope Colt Miller comes back soon, but I guess not too soon because I don't want to win games. Uh, but it would be nice to see Charles Grant at some point. Um, yeah. We did get to see Darian Porter again because Kai Blue Kelly went down with the injury. And he looked great. He was matched up almost solely against Cortland Sutton. And it's not like Cortland Sutton put up 100 yards and a touchdown on him. Like, it was very back and forth. But the thing that you notice with Darian Porter is his ability to keep up with the receiver, like, deep down the field. And just that he seems to be very good in, I don't know if I should say that he's great in press, but I remember in Madden, there was maybe it is press. There's a statistic that you can, like, make them better at, like, being very sticky in coverage. Like, he's very sticky in coverage, point being. Like, he's staying with the receiver. I don't know what the term is, but
Well,
anti-separation, right?
I mean, it could just be that he's really good at man coverage. The press is like when you're like on the receiver, like,
Right.
and then when you're playing soft, like
Yeah.
you're off.
Yeah. Yeah, he seems to have a very good knack to get his hand on the football. Um when it's coming his way, right?
Mhm.
Um there were plays where Cortland Sutton got the better of him and got the catch, but there are other plays on, like, I want to say there was a 3rd and 4 or 3rd and 7 where uh the pass is thrown right 1 yard ahead of the first down marker and he got his hand in there and he deflected the pass. Just quite a few plays like that. He looks like a startable corner who has all the physical abilities that you want from a future starter in this league.
Darian
I have
Porter.
very high hope. Darian Porter. I have very high hopes for him.
Mhm.
Very high hopes. And then the last guy being Jack Besh. Finally, so this was the first thing I noticed in the game because I didn't get to watch the first drive. I came in for the second and everything after that. Like, I'm watching the second offensive drive, and within 2 or 3 plays, I realized, oh my god, they are finally doing it. They are doing 2 wide receiver sets, and Jack Besh is one of those 2 wide receivers. Oh my god. I had it was a euphoric moment of finally, you're doing it. So he played 82% of snaps, the most of his career in a game so far. And he had 6 targets, 6 catches for, I want to say, around 60 yards. Something like that. Maybe a little less. But he looked good. And that's what I want to see. I just want to see him on the field. I want to see him as a starter. If you don't have other guys that are better than him, Like Tyler Lockett should be, you know, a situational slot receiver. He should not be one of the starting two receivers on two receiver sets, right? It should be Trey Tucker and Jack Besh, period. And then Brock Bowers should be on the field 99% of the time. Um, so that was very promising. And I guess the whole point to all of that, weeks ago, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but would you agree that you were of the sentiment that Jack Besh was a bust or a wasted pick?
Uh, well, all right. What I was saying is, if he was a second round pick and the fourth round pick was getting playtime over him, and then they brought in Tyler Lockett and he was playing, he was immediately playing over Jack Besh. Like, to me, it wasn't looking good. And I mean, I was very quick to jump the gun on bust, you know, but I think like I probably did use that term, but I will say that I was admittedly like I was just saying
Rage
it wasn't
baiting.
well, all right, rage baiting a little bit, but also like because I really feel like in order to classify a player as a bust, you really have to see them like play,
I th-
and
I
he
think you
didn't
have to
really
see
get
them through at least multiple seasons, and yes, they have to play.
the opportunity. I could think of one player off the top of my head that didn't really get an opportunity, and he's touted as a bust. Um, I can't remember what team he played for, but
Yeah,
that being said, it's too early to really like have a definitive determination on whether or not he was a good pick or not. But all the signs were pointing of like, yeah, this dude probably can't play. But we've seen it like from the 49ers perspective, like Aaron Banks, I don't think played his rookie year. They molded him and then he was like okay
mm.
afterwards. And then I'm trying to remember if Renardo Green got a lot of action his rookie year. But Nick Martin this year is not getting anything. So I wouldn't be surprised if later down the line he might contribute. D Winters, the same thing. He didn't really contribute in his first couple of years, and now like he's playing, I think, serviceable. At least to the extent that they didn't keep Dre Greenlaw. Um, and yeah, so did I call him a bust? I probably did. Um, I probably did, but I was like really jumping the gun and jumping to an absolute when I said it. And I'm not trying to backtrack it, but like with the information that I was given at the time, I would say at the time I felt if he's not seeing the field now, like the Raiders don't have anything to play for. Like right now, like if they want to be building towards the future, they should probably play the receiver. Now, I do remember at the time I was like, all right, well, if you're Pete Carroll and you really feel like Tyler Lockett gives you the best chance to win, then you should play Tyler Lockett. Like this is the NFL, you're trying to win games. But Pete Carroll from day one said that he's not here to rebuild. He's here to win now, right? So
All right.
the timelines are a little bit funky, and I think that's a perfect segue into the next thing that I wanted to talk about is all right, this is the first game without Chip Kelly. Um, where the hell did Ashton Genty go? Or is this the second game
I,
without Kelly?
I feel like this is the second game. Let's because
Yeah, it
last
is.
week
It
who did
is.
they
It is the second
face?
game. It's the second game without Chip Kelly.
Yeah, they had the Chargers last week, which I don't think Gianti had really that big of a game in that week either. He had 15 carries, which is actually pretty good, but 31 yards, 2.1 average. That's not good. That's in
Chargers
the
have a
Charger
good
game.
defense. Tyler
Yeah,
Tyler would insist not, but I think at this point he's reverse hexing his own team.
yeah. I think their defense coordinator might be a guy that's getting head coach
Jesse
interviews
Minter.
this offseason. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, 15 for 31 last week, and then this week he goes he goes for 10 carries for 30 yards, so 3 yards average. That's better, but five less carries, right?
I want I want you
Probably
to
because they were down most of the game, but
sorry. I want you to give me the team that's going to fire their head coach this offseason and hire a defensive coach. I just don't see it.
the only reason I say that it will happen is because most of the coaching candidates available are defensive that I've seen. Um, so it's like Jesse Minter, Shula from the Rams, uh,
No, but what
uh,
team is going to fire their coach and hire a defensive coordinator? Like as of
as a
right
head
now,
coach.
I don't really see a scenario where, or at least maybe I'm overlooking a team, but like, the Jets did it this offseason and their offense is putrid.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I will say after this season for the Raiders, and you bring up a great point with the Jets, but mostly just looking at it from a Raiders standpoint, I really want an offensive minded coach moving forward as the head coach. Um, and I hope that he's a successful head coach because then you have two things going for you. You have a good head coach and you have a good play caller secured. So no matter what, you're going to be putting up points in theory if you have a quarterback and everybody's healthy. That's the hope. Um, because yeah, if they do get a defensive minded, let's say the Raiders hire Robert Saleh, which would be the other defensive minded head coach candidate next year. Um, they hire Robert Saleh and they hire the Rams quarterback coach. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but he's really good. Let's say as their offense coordinator next year. Well, then the Saints come calling, and he's their new head coach in 2 years from now. Well, now it's back to square one on offense with presumably, hopefully, a young quarterback who looks really good for the Raiders learning a brand new offense in year three. Like, that's not what we want.
I'm
And I
just
think most organizations should look at it and go, yeah, that's not ideal.
I'm just trying to think of the team to do it. Like right now, all right, who's going to be
The,
hiring a new like a brand new head coach?
well, in theory, not the Jets, but the Giants will be. I really hope the Raiders are. Um, maybe the Dolphins, although they're kind of having a little mini resurgence
I
right
was just
now.
about to look up that division's record. What
Because I'm
what
pretty sure they've
division is
won like
that?
4 of 5 games.
AFC.
AFC East.
Okay. Yeah, they're 6-7.
They're tied with the Chiefs.
That's insane. I thought that they were dead in the water. I don't know, not no pun intended. The Dolphins,
Yeah.
right? But they're just 3 games shy of the Bills, who are in second place. Which the Bills fall off is crazy, and then the Patriots rise is crazy.
So I could see Cleveland firing their coach. And could they go for a defensive guy? Maybe because their current head coach is offensive minded, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, Cleveland, yes, I could see that because they don't
I could see it.
have the quarterback, right?
Also,
Like
you have
they
Miles
could
Garrett.
they could go Jesse Minter, because they already have a really good defense. But the thing is they already have a good defensive coordinator, like Schwartz,
Is it Ben Schwartz
Jim Schwartz, I believe.
or Jim? Is Ben Schwartz an actor? Fuck. Sorry. But it's the guy that used to be the head coach of the Lions.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Every
Yeah.
time, well, except for this past time, like he just kind of has Shanahan's number. So I'm like, he's a pretty good coordinator, and I'd say more often than not, the Browns actually do have a good defense. Their offense is just horrible.
Yeah. I'm starting to realize maybe not that many teams are going to fire their coach. You know who I didn't think was going to get fired because I'm a little delusional, I guess, but now I'm thinking is for sure going to get fired is the Cardinals head coach.
Oh, Gannon?
Um,
Yeah. I think he's going to
yeah,
get fired and probably, you know what? They might. I just don't know if they would go from a defensive guy to a defensive guy. Like that to me seems like a little
right.
redundant. Um, you know, you know who's definitely getting fired
Uh,
in place of an offensive guy?
like the head coach is an offensive guy.
No, like they're going to fire whoever they have now and then replace them with an offensive guru.
Oh, uh, oh, probably Atlanta.
Yeah, they're gonna do
Yeah,
that because I mean, because I already see it. It's like there's so many young quarterbacks in the NFL on bad teams. Like think about like Dave Canales and like Liam Cohen coming in and trying to preserve the careers of the top selected quarterback. Like it's a trend, and I think it's going to continue, and it's going to be
yeah.
very interesting this offseason. Like
Who is? Why am I tripping? Oh, no. Oh, damn. I was like, who is Chicago's head coach? It's yeah,
yeah,
it's the guy.
perfect example. Perfect
Yeah,
example.
because I'm just looking at the standings and I'm like, I'm pretty sure every team that hired an offensive minded guy this offseason is ecstatic. Chicago, Jacksonville, right? Like both teams are. I mean, Jacksonville's not going to be the one seed, but they're looking like they're going to win their division now. Um, and then Chicago was just the one seed a week ago. Who else got an offensive minded coach? I mean, Dallas, which I think they had a slow start, but offensively they look great. It's just their defense is a problem. But Schottenheimer actually has them playing pretty good. Um, maybe I'm wrong, but
No, I mean their offense is literally, you know what? More more than Schottenheimer, it's the addition of Pickens.
yeah. I'd say the only team that I can think of off the top of my head that picked up an offensive minded head coach and isn't doing good would be New Orleans with Kellen Moore. But I think that's a team problem and not a Kellen Moore problem.
Dude, I have to say it. Every time the camera pans to Kellen Moore, they always talk about how he's always the smartest guy in the room. How he's a genius.
What is he
Every,
just making like a
no, all right.
stupid
So
face or something?
real quick, do you, do you remember watching Idiocracy? Uh,
Yeah.
uh, there was, I swear, there's a scene in the movie when they're like going. Do you remember when they brought the main character to the White House and like they're introducing him to like all oh, that's the secretary blah blah blah, that's the secretary blah blah blah, like
I just remember Gatorade makes the it's what the plants crave.
okay, but like there's a scene where they're sitting over at like inside the White House, and then they're like, oh yeah, this is the Secretary of Interior, this is the Secretary of Defense, blah blah blah. And it's like, oh yeah, what about him? And it's just this guy like cross-eyed, like inspecting like a little freaking thing in the corner, and then they go,
Uh,
oh yeah, he's in charge of the department, or he's in charge of education, and then he's like looking like this, like cross-eyed into the into the thing he's holding, and then like whoever was explaining it was like, oh yeah, he's kind of stupid, but he's the president's cousin or whatever. So every time
that's
I see
Kellen
Kellen
Moore.
Moore, he gives me those vibes. I went on a really big idiocracy tangent right there, but like, all right, they're like, yeah, oh, Kellen Moore is such a genius, and like he's got like a little. I swear, he's got a little cross. Like his face just. I don't think he's actually
He has
cross-eyed.
derp. He is just derpy.
Yeah, so like They're like, yeah, he's Kellen Moore's the smartest guy in the room, and I just see.
uh, so okay, let's count how many teams are going to be looking for new head coaches. All right, we
Okay.
already know the Giants are.
Oh yeah.
I think the Cardinals will be. I don't think Washington's going to fire their coach. I think that's
You know
premature.
what? The Giants could hire Minter.
Yeah, they could. I mean, you'd probably rather try to get an offensive-minded guy to pair with Jackson Dart, but
I mean, think
I mean, if
about
they
that
feel
pass
confident,
rush they have.
oh man, yeah. No, I mean, a defensive-minded guy would kill to go there. I'd say you have a quarterback, and you have those guys on the defense. Like, yeah, I'd say a lot of defensive-minded coaches are signing up for that job. Um, so we got two. Do you agree Washington shouldn't fire their coach yet? Probably give them one more year. Like they've had injuries, they've had issues.
Yeah, I think it's too early
Commanders.
to fire Quinn.
Yeah. Um. Okay, Atlanta. We'll go ahead and say Atlanta's firing their coach. Like that's a complete fuck up. That is a complete fuck up that they've done. Um.
How do you
That's
pay
it
Kirk
for
Cousins
me.
all that money and then draft a quarterback and then be in quarterback hell?
I mean, part of that is Penix getting hurt, but also he hasn't developed all that well. It seems. You know what's funny though? I mean, their defense hasn't been any bit like awesome either because their head coach Raheem Morris is a defensive minded guy. I feel like the guy to blame kind of
Is the
is their
offensive?
offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big time,
Um
big time.
so I mean maybe they don't fire Raheem Morris because maybe they really like him. I'm curious how they feel about the GM because if they decide, you know what, let's get rid of the GM, he's the one that's been fucking up personnel wise, well then you just clean house and start over from a coaching and GM standpoint.
Dude, they have
So
great
I mean,
players. They have great players on both
that's
sides of the ball.
yeah. Um, that's why it's a royal fuck up. I mean, they should be in the playoff picture, really.
I
So
didn't
that's
say what's up to Joel in the
three.
comments. It's been about like
What's
almost 10 minutes.
up?
I'm so sorry.
Good lord. So that's three teams from the NFC. Now let's go Tennessee. They've already fired their coach.
They're
Um,
definitely going to get an offensive guy to pair with Cam Ward.
yeah, Cam Ward. You really should. I mean, the first overall pick, you have to invest in that. Um, Cleveland. I'd say yes. I think they're gonna probably restart there. I mean, but then again, like the quarterback problem this year,
Dude,
I feel like the GM fucked them hard.
I feel like the owner did. Wasn't it the owner that came
Yeah,
in and
Deshaun
say,
Watson.
no, well, that, but didn't the owner come in and say, like, draft Shador Sanders? And, like, after they drafted Dylan Gabriel, like,
I mean, that looks like a great move right now. Like it's more drama for the franchise, but I mean that Shadur just put up like 380 and four touchdowns.
did he?
He was yeah he was the he okay
Against who?
from what
Tennessee?
yeah
The, like, the, like, one team that's
yeah
worse than they are? But I will
yeah
say that's a very good game. That's impressive. If he did, like,
that
four
yeah
touchdowns and almost 400 yards,
I think
that's
one
a
of
really good game.
yeah one of them was a rushing touchdown, but still like apparently he looked really good. Um, he was like the fantasy quarterback too by like point 0.2 points behind Josh Allen. He was almost the QB1 on the week.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but still, I mean, do I think Shadur is going to be the franchise guy? Not really, but I don't think the owner stepping in and be like draft this guy was stupid. I think taking shots, especially the way that they were doing it, where they pick a quarterback in the third round, you might as well take shots if Deshaun Watson wasn't going to play this year. Like, take a second shot on the dartboard and go for Shadur. He was supposed to be a second round pick. Some people felt first round pick. Yeah, fuck it, take him in the fifth. Like, I know it was a shit
I
show those 2 to 3 days on the draft, but you know,
I don't think it's stupid, but like I will say, if it's true, all right. So if it's true that that was the owner's pick, and Shador is actually hella good, Stefanski's getting canned. Like he's getting fired.
yeah.
Of like you
I
didn't want
mean,
to draft this guy, you didn't want to play this guy, and he's better than you at your job. You know, he's better at his job than you are at yours. So get the hell out of my office. You know, like that kind of
yeah. At that
deal.
point, it's
But
probably him and the GM.
I will say Stefanski, like if Shador turns out like he sucks and that was the owner's pick, like I feel like maybe he might get a little bit more leniency of like, you know what? Like that was my fault. We're going to go moving forward, but I don't know. He's been the coach there for like since 2020.
Yeah, no, he's been there a while. Um, and the thing with him is, we've seen him have a good offense before. He's just never had the quarterback. You know, like his rushing offense with Nick Chubb has been spectacular. The way that he was able to build an offensive line, like I would kill to have him as an offensive coordinator.
Why'd they get
I
rid
don't
of
know if I,
Flacco? Why?
yeah, I don't know. I don't. Stefanski seems like a boring head coach, you know, but he's like a like he kind of seems like a high ceiling, low floor type of guy, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like if you get the quarterback in there, he can build the offensive line, not just him alone, but like he can get it done. He seems like a guy that can get it done, but also like maybe it's also just a Browns thing. Like they're 3-10 right now, you know. But I don't know. He's an interesting coach to me, because I can't get the sense of like, is he great or is it the Browns that are terrible or what is this? But anyways, obviously I feel like the Raiders should be looking for a new head coach this offseason. So I mean that's 6 teams, 3 from the AFC, 3 from the NFC. You got Tennessee and the Giants who have quarterbacks for sure. Arizona, I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Uh,
I
and
do know what
Atlanta,
they're doing
they
at
have Penix.
receiver. They're freaking breeding Jerry Rice. Well, that sounds very wrong. They're building the next Jerry Rice with Michael Wilson.
Yeah, yeah. I have no idea where that came from. I mean, it's Jacoby Brissett, dude. That dude's just eating on garbage time, and Trey McBride thanks him. Um, but I don't know. I mean, this has been a long conversation. All I knew coming into this pod was I was excited to talk about the Raiders because we're getting closer to the offseason. We're getting to the point now where you're really starting to get that tankathon, you know, oh, who's going to have the first pick sort of countdown. And the Raiders are looking like they're in a really good spot to where I think there might be some offensive minded coaches that see the Raiders if they have the first pick and they go, okay, well, then I know that I'll have my quarterback because I like Fernando Mendoza, right? That gives me a lot of hope and optimism. Um, but to your point, I think they need to go offensive minded head coach, especially because if you just look at the playoffs, like let's just list off these coaches. There are some really good defensive minded coaches who have the right offensive coordinators to go with them, right? Or they have the quarterback or what have you. Denver, Sean Payton, 11-2. New England, Mike Vrabel, amazing head coach. And you pair him with Josh McDaniels, which respect to Josh McDaniels as an offensive coordinator for the Patriots. It just always works, apparently.
Well, not
But also Drake
always.
May.
Not always.
Not always, but Drake May helps. Jacksonville, Liam Cohen. Pittsburgh, why am I forgetting his name?
Arthur Smith.
Well, is he? I guess he is their offensive coordinator. Wow. Why am I forgetting their head coach's name?
Oh, Tomlin? Mike Tomlin?
Mike Tomlin. Thank you. Jeez. He's defensive minded, right?
He's a winner.
That's all we know. Is he
He
is
hey,
a bona fide. He's going to be.
he started before my time, okay?
Yeah.
He's been there. No, I mean he didn't start before my time, but before I like really paid attention. So really, I just know that he's good. I don't
They are
know
barely hanging on.
I don't know what he
Sorry.
specializes in, but
I'm.
he has
Yeah.
never had a losing season.
Yeah. He might be like a defensive backs guy or something. Um. They're barely hanging on to a playoff spot because they're 7-6, so just above 500, which is Mike Tomlin's forte. The Ravens are the 9 seed at 6-7, but all the wild card teams are like 8-5 or 9-4. So if the Ravens beat them somehow, Steelers probably don't make the playoffs at this point. But you got the Chargers with Harbaugh,
If the
offensive minded
Ravens
guy.
beat if they beat who?
If the Ravens beat out the Steelers, I'm saying the Steelers have a hard
Hmm.
time making the playoffs because you got 8-5. You got teams that are a game or two above you at that point. Even in the 8 seed. Chargers offensive minded with Harbaugh, Buffalo, McDermott's defensive minded. I've seen some people saying maybe they want to switch things up there, but I don't see why you would. Um,
I see why.
you're still,
They're stuck.
yeah. I mean, they are kind of a weird team.
They're
Like maybe
like
getting an offensive minded go. Like imagine Kubiak with Josh Allen, and then get a new like up and coming defensive coordinator with like a new defense.
to me, it like not to make the basketball comparison, but the Bills really remind me of like all right, the Sean McDermott Bills are like the Mark Jackson Warriors, where he like really built it, you know,
Yeah,
and
but they
then
just
they get
kind of like they went up, 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 and then they what do you call that? They
plateaued.
plateaued. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. But I could see them adding, like, if the right coordinator becomes available. Like, could you imagine the Bills right now if they like had fired McDermott in place of Ben Johnson?
yeah. That'd be insane because you'd have the Ben Johnson plays to go with the superhero Josh Allen plays.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be insane. Which actually, Caleb Williams is not, and I don't think he will ever be Josh Allen, but he does make some like insane throws
Yeah.
that are unscripted as fuck.
He'll never be Josh
Uh,
Allen, but I can guarantee you he'll be Caleb Williams.
that's for sure. Uh, it's funny, like the whole point you made about like getting an offensive minded guy. The first guy I thought of when thinking of a defensive minded coach that is really successful, the first guy I thought of was, of course, right then and there. I have to forget his name. The Texans head coach. What the fuck? Why
D'Amico.
am I doing this? D'Amico Robbins. I was gonna say Nico. I'm like, dude, it's not
D'Amico
Nico.
Ryans. Did you
Yeah,
say
D'Amico Ryans.
okay? It sounded like you said D'Amico Robbins. I'm like, where'd you get Robbins from?
I think I
Maybe
said
I'm the one
Ryans
with the ear
way
infection.
back. Yeah, maybe. But and then Shaden Steichen with the Colts is an offensive minded guy. Like most coaches are offensive minded that are successful right now. I mean, the Chiefs aren't successful with Andy Reid, but
The
and then the
Colts were
very
about
rare.
the Colts were one losing season away from being the team that was going to fire their coach for a defensive guy. They were they were right there.
Yeah, Shane Steichen. I mean, if he had become available this offseason because they sucked, I would have probably been a supporter of Shane Steichen. Like I've been saying, that dude's a pretty impressive offensive mind. And then he let it rip this year, so it just shows that you just need the right quarterback in there. Yeah. So, but in the NFC, I guess the point is there's a lot of offensive head coaches, and then there's Mike McDonald with the Seahawks. Like that's really it's everybody's offense and then Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I don't even know how that works. How does that even work out? Like, how's he getting Sam Darnold to play well?
Well, it's because their offensive coordinator is Kubiak. What Clint Kubiak? Like it was just a perfect fit.
Is it
Where
Clint or is it Clay?
I'm pretty sure it's Clint. I think Clay's with the Niners or Rams,
or
one of
the
the
other
two.
way around. No, no, no. One of them's with the Niners. No,
But
it is Clint. It is Clint.
yeah, uh, Darnold was a Shanahan offense fit where he was with Shanahan and Kubiak in San Francisco, and then goes to Minnesota with O'Connell, which comes from the McVay tree, Shanahan tree, if you will. Um, and then you pair them in Seattle, Kubiak and Darnold, and it just works. Um, that's what I'm. I mean, I just can't help but think that Clint Kubiak is my top choice right now to be the Raiders head coach next year, where he is a proven offensive mind, up and coming young offensive mind. That's what you look for. A guy that can work with the quarterback, and boom, they put up numbers, right? Like you see guys like Dave Canales and uh,
Liam.
Duval,
Liam
Liam
Cohen.
Combs, thank you, um, and Ben Johnson, and so on and so forth. You know, just coming in and being successful with the quarterback. I feel like this is the offseason where if you, the Raiders ownership, if you just smarten the fuck up, hire an offensive minded guy, up and coming guy, not some big name guy. Let's not, please, let's not even entertain Bill Belichick and his 26-year-old girlfriend. Like, go get the guy that's going to start winning you for games for years and years. That's a young offensive minded guy who works well with quarterbacks. That's Clint Kubiak. That's what they have to do. And then you draft a quarterback first overall. Please don't win another game this year. Please. That Giants game, they need to lose, and they need to lose hard. Oh my god. So I mean that's I'm just repeating myself at this point week after week. We all know I want to lose for reasons, right? Because if you do get the first overall pick, suddenly Clint Kubiak is going, okay, that's interesting. Whereas if they have the third overall pick and he's like, yeah, there's a high likelihood that not only Fernando Mendoza, but also Dante Moore out of Oregon just won't be there. And then what? And then I'm going to be a one and done castaway head coach, and I won't get another shot for at least 5 years. So why would I invest in the Raiders team if I don't think I'm going to have a good shot there? At that point, you're getting stuck with, I guess, Bill Belichick to work for Brady's team. Or you're stuck with, I don't know, who was just some coach that has no business being a head coach, basically. Which
Chip
apparently is
Kelly.
Pete Carroll. Yeah, Chip Kelly. And for some reason, I thought the same thing, dude. But, it'll be some guy that just got fired. Like, oh, you know who they'll end out with? I know exactly who they would end out with. The Packers and Cowboys old coach who's taking a year off.
Oh,
The big
McCarthy.
name, Mike McCarthy, next Raiders head coach if they don't go for Clint Kubiak. Because he's a big name and he's been successful in the past. That's Mark Davis's MO lately. There it is,
Yeah.
guys, your new head coach, Mike McCarthy, to teach up our rookie quarterback, fucking Drew Allard in the second round. Because we won one game against the Giants. There you go.
Thinking about
Dream over.
McCarthy reminds me that they uh, replaced him with LaFleur, and which reminds me of that press conference where he was very salty.
Yeah.
I think I
So,
said it on the pod. Every time I think of LaFleur, I think of that press conference,
oh yeah.
and I was not lying. Every time
What does he say? Like,
he's like,
doesn't go like, it sucks, Mike,
no, he's like,
or whatever he says.
oh, fuck, I forgot what the reporter asked him, but he goes, I don't know, Pete. If I knew, it wouldn't have
Yeah.
happened.
That one's classic. And then every here and there, I'll get on TikTok this compilation of Mike Vrabel when he was with the Titans. It's one of the funniest fucking things. Like, I wanted Vrabel so bad. And he's a defensive minded guy, but yet look at him, right? Uh, but dude, his press conferences can be funny as fuck. So, okay, I'm going to finish off with this, and then I will shut up and just predict for the Raiders thing and the Niners thing, okay? Um, but all that being said, we all know what I want for the Raiders the rest of the season. Just please lose, right? When the season comes to an end, please fire Pete Carroll, right? Let's get the offensive minded guy, the young offensive mind that can work with the quarterback, fill out the coaching staff. I personally, and this is my next point, I'm keeping John Spytek. And part of that reason, like just driving today home from work, and I'm thinking about Jack Besh and Darian Porter and Caleb Rogers. These rookies who finally get playing time under this coaching staff. Mostly because they were forced to. Because they traded Jacoby Myers. Because Jackson Powers Johnson gets hurt, which I'm sure Chip Kelly and or Pete Carroll was ecstatic about. Fucking idiots. And Darian Porter because Blue Kelly goes down. Oh, I guess we have to start the third rounder now. Darn it. We're 2-11. Oh, darn. We have to put the rookie second round pick on the field. Ugh. It's fucking stupid. I just can't help but think that draft classes cannot be judged in 1 year.
Yeah.
So, if we come out of this season and we go, Jesus Christ, Ashajanti averaged 2.7 yards per carry. What a terrible pick. Right? He's clearly he's a bust. Are we really thinking that? No. We see him if you watch him on film, he's really good. The offensive line just sucks. The blocking scheme sucks. Half the time, these offensive linemen clearly don't know where they're supposed to be blocking. That's a coaching problem. And a health and depth problem. When Stone Forsythe and Alex Kappa are your starters, you have a problem.
Yeah.
Get these bums off my team. But I just can't help but think between... I mean, I don't care so much about Ziegler, but I think about Tom Telesco, and you see him, pick up Brock Bowers. Who was the second round pick that year?
It was Bowers, and then did you guys trade your second round pick?
That's a great question. Wow. Okay, wait. Brock Bowers draft class. I don't know.
Your guys' second round pick was...
Oh, Jackson Powers Johnson.
Oh, duh.
Hello. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm trying. So, man, no. I mean, I forgot too. I'm trying to think of who their third round pick was. All right, jeez, Louise. I'm just gonna have to switch it up. All right, 2024. Just really quick, 2024 Raiders draft picks. Sure.
Speaking
Delmar
of...
Glaze.
Speaking of...
So DJ Glaze, right tackle. Go ahead.
Speaking of Raiders, I did want to update you on this poll. I made a poll in the comment section, and about 75% of our viewers said that you should become a 49er fan.
By chance, was it out of 4 votes?
Probably.
So I see that 2 Niner viewers and Josh voted yes.
I didn't vote.
And Joel voted no.
The people have spoken.
God, I mean, that brings me to another point, though. God.
You still
I
need to
might
vote
have
on
something else to say. Oh, I do. Yeah, I will. There's a lot of stuff I still have to do tonight. Jesus.
I gotta go to sleep.
DJ Glaze. Yeah, believe me, we will get there. I'm so sorry. DJ Glaze is a fine pick. He's still the starting right tackle, but I don't think statistically he's been that good this year. I'm hoping it's a coaching problem and not a specific DJ Glaze problem. But I have always felt because of how he played at Maryland, that if he struggles at tackle, you can always slide him in at guard because he was both at Maryland. Usually, a guy that's both in college projects out to be a guard. So, I don't know. I just can't help but think that offensive tackle is a need this offseason, especially when a guard like Caleb Rogers looks good, especially when we still have Jackson Powers Johnson on the roster. Um, get me a tackle, get me a guard this offseason. And they have a lot of free agency money, so we'll see. Um, so the first two picks I feel like are good picks, even though this season's been weird for Jackson Powers Johnson. Point being here, I feel like Spytek's draft class has not been given the proper play or coaching staff to have any judgment towards it yet. But when they do get on the field, it's not like they're completely sucking. I mean, Dante Thornton might be the worst one at like he gets a fade opportunity and he just drops the ball half the time. I'm not all that big on Dante Thornton. Also, to the Jack Besh commentary earlier, I'm so sorry to bring this back up, but I still think the reason why Jack Besh wasn't getting on the field is because of the fit on the offense relative to the X receiver, Y receiver, Z receiver. I think they had those roles filled by Jacoby Myers, which I would assume was the same role as Jack Besh, and Jacoby Myers was never off the field. Trey Tucker, mostly never off the field, and then the X receiver being Dante Thornton, field stretching, deep threat. Right? I just felt like Jack Besh wasn't on the field less because he got beat out by the fourth round pick, but more because the fourth round pick fit what they needed on the field more. Anyways, I just think it would be ridiculous to me to fire Spytek and restart a complete new regime. Maybe you have to if the head coach is like, no, I need my guy. I need my GM. But hopefully you can make it work where you fire Pete Carroll. Clearly the coaching staff was a complete blunder this year. But we keep the guy that brought in the talent and has a pulse on this team and also, I think, is Brady's guy. And I have a lot of high hopes for Spytek as a general manager. So at the end of the day, I'd like to think that Mark Davis has a pulse on the building and isn't just going to completely rebuild the entire Raiders staff all over again. Like, I want to say Spytek was rebuilding the scouting department this year. So, like, if that's true, why do it again? You know? I think if you're rebuilding the scouting department to fit Spytek's mold, then keep Spytek. Right? He's already had this draft class. I don't think it's a bad draft class by any means. I also think some picks like Janty might have been Pete Carroll picks or Chip Kelly picks that should have been offensive linemen. Right?
Well, I mean, you
And
said it during
also,
draft season. You really wanted the right tackle, Membu.
Membu. Yeah, Armand Membu. Absolutely. I
But
think
then
that
you
would have
were
been a better
happy when they
pick.
drafted Genty because, I mean, you had it was a Ferrari, you know?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't,
It's a Ferrari. I couldn't help but think literally today, because there was a video that I saw, and this is gonna be the last point, and this is a good segue towards it. I don't know who this was, but it's some Raider fan who seems to be from like the Bay Area, on like his TikTok or YouTube video. I don't know. Talking about Pete Carroll mentioning the crowd at the stadium, which was very orange. Which, of course, from my perspective, it's a mixture of Las Vegas being Las Vegas and the Las Vegas Raiders being 2-10 and the Broncos being 10-2. I think those are big factors. The other big factor, because Pete Carroll was legitimately he wasn't like complaining, but he was bringing light that like maybe it was a comment or question towards him. It's not him doing it, but still, uh, you know, just asking about the turnout of the fans, right? And he said something about, we need the fans to be blah, 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 this, that, whatever. And, like, I'm not mad about it or anything. It's just, I don't know what you can expect when you move a franchise. Obviously not Carroll, but like Mark Davis. You move a franchise to a completely different state, and you're never consistently good. I don't think they made the playoffs once, 2021. But it's been 4 years now, and since then it's been complete mediocrity, year in, year out, like 3 straight new head coaches. How do you expect fans to show up for that consistently? You can't.
Especially when they're the most
Um,
expensive tickets in the league.
exactly, and that's where I wonder if Ashton Gianti was picked because he sells tickets. I genuinely thought of that today. I was like, I wonder if there are times where ownership steps in or something and goes, we have to get that guy because that's the most exciting guy. That guy should have won the Heisman. That guy's going to make big plays. That guy's going to sell tickets. Whereas the offensive tackle from Missouri, he's not going to sell tickets. But he damn well probably would have made the Raiders' run game and pass game better. Like, that's no shade to Ashton Gianti. That's just how bad their offensive line is.
Mm-hmm.
So
I want to get to
I don't know.
I want to get to some comments before we provide predictions for the Raiders versus who are they playing again? They're playing the Eagles. Yeah. I do have something that I do want to say about that game too. But Joel says, I think Glaze may play better at guard because he struggles with speed rush. Yeah. I mean, typically you want your faster guys on, playing tackle. That's for sure. Joel says, what's crazy? The only reason our rookies are getting playing time is due to injury.
Yeah,
Yeah, we touched on that earlier.
that's a coaching problem. That's 100% a coaching problem, and apparently a talent evaluation problem from the coaching staff because it's not Spytek's choice to play these players on the field. It's Pete Carroll and the coordinators. So
MK Ultra 1850 says Raiders all day, baby. Well, not all day, okay? Because we are going to talk about the 49ers after we finish up with the Raiders. We're not quite there yet. But I did notice MK Ultra, by the way, welcome to the channel. We talk about both teams here. I did want to mention it looks like MK Ultra voted in the poll. And so the poll is now a new number. Do you want
to
to read that off?
6-7, huh? Should I be a Raider fan or Niner fan? 6-7. Jesus, I really just said that on the pod.
Yeah.
Um,
Jesus, Mike.
yeah,
Bebop
no.
Jones, welcome back.
I'll say this last point, and then I truly am done.
Okay.
I feel like I've made all my points. Like, play the rookies. Please lose. Let's get that first pick and make this team more, exciting and alluring for a coaching candidate, right? And free agents. Like, if free agents know, like, they're going to get a quarterback in here, they got Max Crosby, they got Bowers, they got Janty, they might be able to go places if they make the right moves in the offseason. Will they make a playoff game or win a playoff game next year? Probably not. But will they get better? I think so. But part of that guy's video was also saying how this team, the way that this franchise is run now in Vegas, I'd say by Mark Davis, his point, and I wish I could cite this guy's name, and maybe I'll find it. Maybe next pod I'll bring him up again. But he was saying essentially this franchise is now run in a way where they don't care so much about the 60-year-old fan who is a diehard from Oakland or LA, and they've seen the Super Bowls, they've seen the Raiders' greatness of the past. That doesn't care as much. That doesn't matter as much to them, to this Raiders team, as being a Vegas show does, of essentially just making money, right? Which at the end of the day, this is always a business, and my opinion has always been winning brings in better business, like the Warriors, right? If you create a dynasty like the Chiefs, you are going to be making so much more money as a franchise from merchandise to probably commercials to whatever, right? What are you going to say?
I think I kind of disagree. I think that the Raiders almost exclusively appeal to the old fan base, and that's literally their target audience because like I mean, right now, they're not bringing in like typically teams they'll be successful and they'll bring in like jersey sales through like bandwagon fans or maybe like people are just like a fan of a particular superstar. I think Genty was meant to like sell jerseys, like maybe that was a pick that was going to make them money and sell jerseys, but like their whole presentation and everything is honoring the past, but like literally there's no plan in place to have sustained success for the future. So it's like, I mean, if it's a Vegas show, it's a really shitty one because they lose most of their games. um,
Yeah.
but like I will say it's literally the same thing over and over. It's oh, we're one of the old dynasties in the NFL, and I mean that's really the Raiders hold on to, they hold on to their past. I mean, the Niners do it too, you know?
Yeah. I, I'll say the Raiders, I think it's the way that they go about their actual, I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Just the way that their team has been the past 20 years is we suck, right? And I agree. They have done a great job of promoting their past and how great their past was. And all once a Raider, always a Raider. Like they have done a great job with uh, Raider alumni. Like I've seen things about what they do with the Raider alumni. It's all great stuff, genuinely. Like I don't think everything about. I don't even know if I agree with this guy really because I think Mark Davis is actually a pretty solid owner, but I get his point, which to me is I've gone to a Raider game in Vegas relative to the games in Oakland. I never got to see a game in Los Angeles, but I could tell you the key thing, and this is probably simply because they're in Vegas. So it's like, oh, like Vegas is a character of its own, just like Oakland was. Oakland is not very inviting, right? It's the black hole. We will sucker punch you, or you will not feel welcomed. Whereas Vegas is the almost the polar opposite. You want to be there, you know, and you're going to have a good time, um, because it's going to be a show, and
I
I
don't
think
know.
that might be part of it.
I don't know. All right, I've never been to a Raider game ever. Like not in Oakland, but I've been to the Coliseum plenty.
Damn,
Yeah,
shit,
I I've never been to a
wow,
Raider
man,
game. Um,
damn it.
but what I will say is it's not just a Raider thing. Um, and it's not so much probably that the new stadium feels inviting, but there's something about all these brand new stadiums that just they they are a shell of what the old stadiums used to be, and like where there was so much character and history, and now these new stadiums are just like feel really corporate. Does it feel that way for uh does it feel that way for the Raiders, or you don't really get that corporate vibe where it's like it's just like really new school trying to appeal to like really
Well,
specific,
they've
like
done a
I don't know. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or no?
I think the older stadiums were so keyed in on just sit in your seat and enjoy the game, whereas now it's like I just saw earlier before we started the pod, there was a video of somebody like I was just on YouTube like scrolling, and one was like, my first time at Raiders VIP, you know, uh, lounge area or whatever, box seats, and
Yeah.
it's like, dude, and I've I've been lucky enough to, I think, do something similar to that at a Niner game, where I was in like the Twitch area, and like you're able to watch the game in many different places, but it's not the same as sitting in a seat and watching, like being like
Like
having your body
watching the
towards the field.
physical game, not a digital, like
Yeah,
broadcast of it.
or like having a table full of like just free for all food, and you have televisions up here with some showing fantasy points and some showing the Panthers game, and then most of them showing the game that you're at. Like that's really cool, but also very, what's the term that you used? Just
Corporate.
because I forgot. Corporate. It's very corporate because that's what it's meant for. Is people are going to spend a lot of money for that.
Yeah.
Um, but the key thing I think when I think of the time that I went to the Raider game against the Giants, Antonio Pierce's first game as interim coach, was that when the game was about to start, this is when I knew, oh, this is Vegas. Was in Oakland, it was, uh, I guess before halftime it's back in black. Um, but definitely Hell's Bells. And it's these, beat you up Raiders, right? Outdoors, all that shit. In Vegas, like I think they still do Hell's Bells, but they also do a lot of, indoor stadium, light show, practically let's get ready to rumble type of thing. And at some point, I don't know if somebody says it or if it's, I think it's before their like hype video, but right before kickoff, it says, oh, fuck, it says something to the, maybe somebody that's been to the game can say it. It says something to the effect of the show is about to begin.
Mm-hmm.
And me personally, that was the one thing when I was at the game that turned me off.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not here for a fucking show. I'm here to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this guy's point is
Bruh.
the way, like, having so many opposing fans because the seats are astronomically ridiculous, which is in large part because of resale and PCLs. That's a whole other story, but that's not catered to Raider fans. That's catered to highest bidder, right? It's not about are we going to win? It's you're paying for a show.
Dude, I
That I
got
just yeah.
I got a vivid image of like, all right, you know how you said like back then they would play Hell's Bells, or I guess they still do it now, right? Like, they get you like hyped
I'm
up,
pretty sure.
you know,
Yeah.
you get Raider fans hyped up,
It's
and
all
then
great,
and
but
then
it's not the same.
you said there was like one thing that bothered you. I don't know why. In my head, I pictured that one thing being like, and here are your Las Vegas Raiders, and then you just see like the players run on the field. Just imagine Max Crosby running out, and they freaking play like whatever's a hot pop song, and then you just see Max Crosby running on the field with his like crop top and Pink Pony Club. I'm gonna keep on dancing.
No.
Like freaking, they run out to Pink Pony Club.
The I the first thing I thought when you said that was like everything's going good. They play Hell's Bells, and then you hear Beth Mowins, and now coming onto the field, your Raiders,
Beth
and now
Mo.
lighting the flame in memoriam of Al Davis, Clive Walford.
Oh my god, dude. Honestly, Beth Mowins is not as bad as the Sacramento A's announcer.
Yeah,
She's the worst.
yeah, um,
I will
yeah,
listen to
man,
Beth Mowins 10 times out of 10 over the Sacramento A's announcer. Um,
1000%.
I
Yeah,
do
but
want to,
basically the Raiders just need to get serious.
yeah, and we need to get serious about getting to our next topic. But
Yeah.
um, I do like this too. This comment. Bebop Jones says, "I love the Raider fans that dress up. Miss that aspect of the NFL. Yeah, we don't really see them that much.
Yeah, I
Not like
mean,
how we saw him in Oakland.
yeah, half of them are priced out, half of them don't have season tickets, um, and most of them don't live there. So, yeah.
Hmm. Well, we can go to, move on to the Raiders versus Eagles predictions. I can already see how this is going to go in terms of what we are going to predict for this game. But before we get there, I just want to say every year there's one game that the Raiders just inexplicably win that just tanks their draft capital. And I don't know what it is about the Eagles. They're in like a rut right now. This makes me question, could this be that game for the Raiders that just like I I don't know. Like could this be the one where they just they win and then like really they lose, right? They lose if they win.
Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna go ahead and predict that the Eagles are gonna win. They have the better offensive line. They've got the better quarterback. They've got they got
Thank you.
the better running back. They've got the better wide
Oh man.
receivers. They've got the better defense. They've got the better head coach. Well, I wouldn't say the better head coach, but like the younger, more energetic head coach. Well, I don't even know if I'd say, yeah, more energetic, but like, I like Pete Carroll's positive temperament a lot more than Nick Sirianni's. Like, hey, if you're not from Philadelphia, fuck you. You know?
Right.
Um, yeah, man. I think the Raiders are going to lose this game, but it would not shock me if this was the one where we just can't explain it. We just come next week and you're all sad and you're like, yeah, they won another fucking game.
Useless game. Yeah. Thanks, Patriots and Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Mike, about this one?
Who the fuck did we beat? Did we beat Chicago earlier this year?
No, you beat
Oh, Tennessee. It had to be Tennessee. I'm looking at the
yeah,
schedule.
you beat the
At least on
Titans and you beat the
sleeper.
Patriots.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I just remember Chanty going crazy in that Chicago game. Yeah, I have the Eagles in this one. Actually, I do. You bringing this up does make me fear this game because the Eagles are playing very weird right now. But I just think they should have a bounce back after that Chargers kerfluffle. I mean, they are coming off a short week. Um, it's gonna be at Philly though. I mean, maybe it'll be a weather game. We'll see. But oh damn, I hope not. I'm facing Saquon in the playoffs, and I have AJ Brown. So
Weather game.
I'm hoping
Weather game. What? No. You know
I'm
what?
hoping
I
I'm
was
hoping they throw all over us.
I was happy for Hutch when that pass got completed to Devonte Smith because all right, if that was whether or not I got into the playoffs, you can bet your ass I would have dropped to my knees.
Yeah.
But like
But also
the
that
fact
was
that I
whether or not you were
knew,
facing me.
yeah, the fact that I knew, all right, that catch, all right, I was like, please just let Hutch win the game or somehow put it in a way that I don't have to face Mike this week. Like, you know, I was very thankful that I lost. But
Yeah.
I do have to reiterate, my team is not unfair. It's unfair to me, is what it
It's
is.
not. Yeah. It is not unfair.
I didn't create an unfair advantage.
Um.
I did win
Yeah.
it. I did win a trade. A trade. I don't even feel like I won my trade with Alex, and that's the one that got vetoed.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Okay. So this will be my last point on the Raiders. I got the Eagles winning. I hope they win by a lot. Well, I don't want them to start running up the score, in the run game. Um, I'm hoping that we can stop the run and they are forced to pass on us, and AJ Brown gets 2 touchdowns, and Saquon somehow just doesn't get a touchdown. Um, Last thing I will say, just to kind of sum up everything I was saying earlier, with the whole, the fans, and it was so much orange in the stadium this past week, and that guy talking about, how Mark Davis, handles this franchise and stuff. Now it's just a show and all this, and it's not really catered to the fans. In essence, I guess because one, they don't win. Two, it's a completely different city. So like, how are you going to expect us to show up, week in and week out, especially when it's a traveling city? We all know this shit. But I think the key point he actually made that I didn't talk about was that he hasn't seen Raider fans, diehard Raider fans, so dejected to the point that they don't care. Because I think you can agree that any given season, I mean, Antonio Pierce, interim head coach, like, Raider fans went from, like, this sucks, fuck Josh McDaniels, to, like, hell yeah, man, let's do this. Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And that was the story all year, whether or not AP should get another season. Like, that was interesting.
Yeah. And he did, and we were supportive of him. Not everybody. Some people probably felt that it should have been somebody else, but still, like, we were supportive of him and hoping that it would work.
And there was still Raider fans that were like, AP should get another year.
Yeah. And, before that, you had, obviously, Josh McDaniels. Before that, you had, I guess that was Gruden. I'm thinking to the GMs, so, like, Telesco, Ziegler. But anyways, just, we have been hopeful, and then we lose hope, and then we're hopeful, and then we lose hope, and then we're, like, this year is different. It absolutely feels different in the sense that I have never felt this dejected. I have never felt this careless towards the team. Like, I was going to say to start the pod, like, and I don't mean this in a negative way towards our podcast or you or anything. This was the first podcast that I was genuinely excited to get on in quite a while, possibly since week 1, because this team has been so dog shit and such a letdown this year. That's not towards you or the pod. It's towards the Raiders, because I don't want to talk about them. I'm so dejected from this team. And his point was, there are so many Raider fans that are just like, I don't care so much. Where that's not how Raider fans are. And I think that's something that comes with moving your team out of state, away from these Bay Area fans, away from the LA fans, and then you continue to suck and be one of the bottom 3 teams in the league. Even when you get a promising coach and a new quarterback and a flashy running back and all this stuff, you manage to have one of the worst offensive lines, worst offensive coordinator. It's a joke.
Oh my God,
so,
dude.
All this being said, they need to make the right moves to positively change this team for the better, for the long run. And that is your coaching staff and being able to get the right quarterback. They have the opportunity to do that. They have to get it right, or else it's only going to become worse with orange in the stands and all of that. That's my final point.
My favorite running gag of this podcast is like you going on a tangent of how mad the Raiders are making you, as I just freaking sit here and laugh as I think about, like, all right, this time what I was thinking about was, all right, we got people sitting in here listening, watching, to hear what you have to say about the Raiders, and an hour and 35 minutes you just decide, man, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even want to fucking talk about the Raiders after talking about them for an hour and a half. Like, You're like, you're so pissed. You're like,
Well,
I don't even
that's
want to
why I was
do this
excited.
pod anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck this
Well, just
pod.
that's why I was that's why I was excited today is because we actually got rookies on the field. We have a really good chance at getting the first overall pick, which is what they need to build that excitement, to get the franchise quarterback in here. And to also, like I said, make the team more sellable towards a coach, right?
Mhm.
Like it's all on the table right there. And then they go and beat the Eagles this weekend and they fuck all that up.
Yeah.
And then I will just feel worse. And there are dumb, I'm sorry, no offense, but dumb Raider fans who are rooting for them to win this weekend. Every weekend. And they're so let down. They're so upset about how we lost to the Broncos this weekend. And I'm like, you guys are so clueless. Like, I get it. I agree in a sense of this is tiring. That's why most of the season I've just been so over it. But also, unfortunately, like we have said many times, you have to take the medicine. And they have never properly taken the medicine. And they're finally on track to do it.
That's why I'm worried. That's
Giants week 17, dude. That's where I'm worried.
that's the Super Bowl.
Because every other game, you got the Eagles who are just coming off of a big loss. They need to win. You got the Texans next week, best defense in the league. Then I believe it's I want to say that would be week 17, so the Giants. And then you finish out with the Chiefs. Like it's to me, it's just that Giants game and apparently this Eagles game where the Eagles have been struggling. But oh, I can't see the Eagles losing to us like that, man. That's rough. It's
Hmm.
just that Giants game.
You know why I was excited to do the pod today? I literally told myself this in my mind. I was
There are many
like,
reasons to be excited for the pod. I'm not saying I'm not. It's just to talk Raiders, not excited at all for me.
I
Continue.
was I was like, you know what? I get to sit down and have a conversation with my buddy Mike, and I get to record it. So that way
Yeah, man.
I can go back and listen and go, I talked to Mike. No, but um I
The
did tell
pod's always
myself that though.
fun,
I was
but
like
you,
I was like, you know what? I get to just talk to Mike. I was
yeah.
like, this is honestly
It,
like kind of like work. It's like I schedule a meeting with you and we're chopping it up.
yeah. I should have clarified when I said it. To be excited talking about the Raiders. That's what I
Oh.
should have said, not exclusively this podcast. That's why I was saying no, nothing towards you or the pod. Like I am excited to do those, to talk to you and do the pod, but I don't want to talk about the Raiders. Like that's just how it's been since week 1 or
All
2.
right, fine. We won't talk about the Raiders. We'll talk about a real team and in the 49ers who are coming off their bye. And I mean, let's be honest, this game's not going to be close at all. Like this
Shouldn't
is
be.
what this is one of those games where the Niners they they thrive for in these types of scenarios. When a team is clearly worse than they are and they can just pad up points. I fully expect that the 49ers are going to score at least 30 points at home. Uh, I think it's going to be a big Christian McCaffrey game where he's going to get at least 2 touchdowns. Maybe Brian Robinson Jr. will have one. Juwan Jennings will probably get a touchdown. Brock Purdy's going to have maybe 2 touchdowns of his own, maybe 3. Um, that would be kind of a lot if it's McCaffrey 2 and then you know uh, Purdy 3. But like I just I think that Cam Ward and the Titans offense has really struggled, and the 49ers are going to be at least rested and maybe a little energized going into this game. Like I said, they're at home. Um, really, I kind of want to I'm picking the Niners pretty easily. I'm gonna let you pick in a second, but I do want to say, like, down the stretch of the season, I expect them, since they are playing for potentially the one seed in the NFC, to go all out, you know, in every way that they can. I did send you something maybe on Twitter recently of the avenue of which the 49ers can become the one seed after this week. So let me see. Uh, After this upcoming week, that is.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, give me your predictions, Mike, as I pull that up.
Yeah, I mean, I've easily got the Niners in this one as well. Um, the Titans did have their best offensive game last week, but I don't see that necessarily continuing. I mean, they did that against the Browns, which is actually pretty impressive. Um, and the Niners do have a lack of pass rush, so maybe Cam Ward is a little more comfortable than usual this week, but I don't think that will be with a comfortable lead. I think he might be less pressured, but still behind by 2 touchdowns most of
Mm,
the game. So, you know, I have the Niners for sure.
man, where is it? I don't know. I don't know where it is. Hold on, let me see. Let me look it up. 49ers one seed. Bear with me, everyone. Okay. So I don't have the original tweet, but I do have this from David Lombardi. The 49ers will be favored in their next 3 games. If they hold serve to win all 3, and LA loses to either Detroit or Seattle, which is very possible, uh, and Green Bay loses to either Denver or Chicago, which is also very possible, the Seahawks versus 49ers will be for the NFC's number 1 seed. And that is going to be at home for the 49ers. Think about that. How All right, the Niners need, they obviously need, like, the biggest question on their schedule is not going to be this week. It's not going to be like it's going to be the 2 weeks after this week. They've got the Colts and then they've got the Bears. And then they've got the Colts in Indianapolis. They just lost Daniel Jones for the year, but they did get Phillip Rivers, which, I mean, he's 44 years old, but if he can still sling it, he can still sling it. Like, he's a borderline Hall of Fame quarterback, so you don't take him lightly. I think that I see the 49ers scoring a lot of points this week. I see them scoring a lot of, I mean, they have to score a lot of points, I think, against the Colts to beat them. And then they've got the Bears on primetime at home. And they've got,
You'll have
I mean,
Philip Rivers
it's going
most
to
likely.
be, it's going to be a, honestly, from now until the end of the regular season, like, I would say this game is going to be the last one that is like, you you know the outcome of it before you go in. Like,
Yeah,
every game remaining is, oh my god, it's like playoff time right now.
yeah,
And the
yeah.
fact
The
that all
Colts game
these
will
are
be
prime
interesting.
time is crazy. I have to assume that the Seahawks one is going to be prime time too, because the Niners are going to be wearing their black unis.
Hmm.
Maybe they'll get
I mean, it could
flexed.
all is that yeah. That's what I was gonna say. If it's the final week of the season, it could be a flex
It
game.
says it says to be determined.
Yeah, that's probably because the final week they do Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. Oh, true,
Um,
true.
yeah, I mean, those are a lot of big games. The Bears game screams huge game, especially considering right now that's the 6 and 7 seed, if I'm not mistaken, in the NFC. So yeah, um, I mean, you guys still have a shot at the division. You just have to get help from the Rams losing a couple games, which really that preferably be those next 2 weeks against the Lions and Seahawks.
They just have to lose one.
Hmm.
Niners have to win out, and the Rams have to either lose to Detroit or Seattle, and Green Bay has to lose to either Denver or Chicago.
Hmm.
And then the Niners will be playing for the 1 seed in against the Seahawks. Like that to me is insane with all the injuries that they've had. Now, do I expect it to happen? No, there's a lot. I mean, they've got to do a lot of heavy lifting these next 4 weeks. Like the Titans are not part of the heavy lifting. If they lose to the Titans, oh my god, that's gonna be like that
That's
won't
terrible.
that will be so detrimental to. I mean, not the season, but I mean that would be such a
Well,
huge letdown.
you still have the Lions behind you in the standings, and probably another team that I'm not thinking of, not named the Bears. Like, you guys slip up once, and you're not making the playoffs. Like, it's looking like it's that sort of time
Yeah,
frame right now. So yeah, I mean, every game here on out really is a must-win game. You got to take it 1 week at a time. Um, the I think the Colts became much more beatable with Daniel Jones injured. Um, it really just depends on if you can stop Jonathan Taylor, right?
yeah.
Which is a big if. And then the Bears game, they've been pretty damn good, but I could see the Niners showing up for that game. Absolutely. Like, I don't think the Bears are, this super hard to beat team, right? They're beatable. Um, and then, like you said, the Seahawks. That's where it's like, all right, divisional game, anything goes.
Dude, you know
So,
what? There's been rumblings about Fred Warner possibly coming back in the playoffs.
hmm.
If if the 49ers can stay alive long enough for Fred Warner to be healthy, they could go on to fucking win the Super Bowl. And that would be crazy if all this time, all the overpowered teams that they've had, like that this one would be the one to do it.
Yeah, I
That would be insane. And that would make up for like the others.
years of pain. Um, I can't, and this is no, not to be negative or anything. I just can't envision the Niners being a Super Bowl winning team this year
I can't
because
either.
of their pass rush. Yeah, but because of their pass rush, like, even if you get Fred Warner back, like, I think when it comes down to those big NFC Championship, even divisional round games, like, you need a pass rush to be affecting the quarterback. I'm sure every here and there you guys are getting sacks, but you guys don't have a guy on the field right now that's like changing the game without Nick Boza and your first round pick this year.
You know who's actually playing well for the Niners?
Is it Cleveland Farrell?
It is Cleveland Farrell. He came back and he's playing well again.
Yeah,
So,
I'm. He's an NFL player, that's for sure. He deserves to be on a team, so good for
mm.
him.
Are you
I don't
sure
have
he's
really
not a
any
high
hard
school
feelings towards
player?
him. No. Oh, oh,
Was that your back?
oh. That was my foot. That was the middle of my foot. Like, I did this. I pushed it down on my shoe like this, and I pushed, and it just cracked. It was my foot and my toe that pushed on it.
So
Holy shit!
this week you've got an ear infection. Next week you're gonna come with crutches. Yeah, guys, you know that crack in the last pod? I popped my Achilles.
Yeah. Turns out, yeah. I got
Fuck.
off the pod, and my big toe was pointed back at me.
Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty much the show for me. But uh, I've got the 49ers in this one pretty easily. Um, yeah. I was gonna say another thing, but I'm freezing over here, and
Mm.
I need to
Oh,
be
it's
in
been
bed
cold lately.
for work tomorrow.
A lot of
Um,
fog. Yeah.
God, there was one last thing. Oh, I've been worried about Pop. Get that
Hey,
garbage out of here.
Hurts, throw it to AJ Brown, baby. Sorry.
That was real bad. No. I'm not gonna lie, I get worried about popping my Achilles ever since Christian McCaffrey and like seeing all these professional athletes just pop their Achilles. I'm like, damn,
Dude,
like,
walking uphill, like, yeah, same. I'll think about it sometimes. I'm like, what if it just popped? I'd be
yeah,
done.
dude, I,
I might
like,
never run again.
dude, I know, like that would be life changing, you know. And then
Yeah.
I swear sometimes my left Achilles, I swear, or I feel like this weird sensation in the back of my left, like, where I'm pretty sure the Achilles is. And I'm like, oh my
Uh,
God, is that tendonitis? I was talking to Alfonso and he's like, no, tendonitis is like when there's constant pain, because he had tendonitis before. He's like, there's constant like aching. And I'm
hmm.
like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just don't want to rupture my Achilles. Like that would really bum me out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Especially now that I'm working too.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to be crutching around at work.
Okay, like no, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to put anything on the universe. I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna be able to do good work. Have a great
Darn
career.
right.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I want to thank Bebop Jones, MK Ultra, Joel, 49er Media, and Will for tuning into the stream. It was a great episode. Unfortunately, like all great things, it has to come to an end. So we hope that you guys have a great night. And it's time for Mike and I to get in bed, get ready to wake up in a couple hours to grind.
Okay. Hey, time for Mike and I to get in bed, and then we're gonna wake up and grind.
There's
Oh.
no way, bro. There's no way.
6, 7.
Oh,
Oh no.
that was
Jeez.
everything was going great until that last
Yeah.
sentence. I might just delete the whole stream, dude. No,
What was it like 2 weeks ago? You kept saying like,
we're coming to
"Yeah,
you
we're gonna
live.
come on the pod. We're gonna come on the pod."
No, I kept saying we're coming to you live.
Yeah, and
Oh,
you said it like twice, and like the second I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?"
oh
Oh
man,
man. Oh.
we're gonna get in bed. Oh, so stupid. Oh man. Oh, Anthony C tuning in at the buzzer. He says, "Happy grinding, fellas. Tummy sticks."
I
I don't get the tummy sticks part.
don't know if I want to.
Yeah, you know what? That's it for the show. Anthony, I
Yeah.
think that you're probably at work right now. You're probably watching and while you're on your shift. And we appreciate you tuning in. So thank you to you as well as I'm trying not to have another sus moment. So, that's enough for one night. All right, everyone. Any last words, Michael?
Um, I hope the Raiders really come to their senses and and splurge this offseason on free agents and splurge all over the draft and yeah, I don't know.
Had to cut you off. They can still hear us.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
All right,
Yeah,
everyone.
no,
Have a great
I was
night.
just trying.
I'm giving it a couple seconds so you can actually see the outro because this is not good.